I completely forgot. Okay. Phew. Okay. Pisces energy can bring a little bit of confusion. And there's a lot of beautiful energy and positive energy, but it's also kind of chaotic. So, yes. Okay. And I've received my OPA certification recently. So I've added that to my list. That was part of my Saturn through the ninth house transit, getting some expertise with my learning. Okay. So, since you're here, you probably most know about me at least a little bit, but I'm a Taurus sun, Aries moon, and a Cancer rising. And my podcast is called Celestial Insights, which helps you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. And I love this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: nothing can give you peace but yourself. So despite outside circumstances, we can always come into center and try to ground ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what are eclipses, the Pisces and Virgo themes, grounding suggestions, guidance for each of the signs, and then I'm going to tell you about my moon course, which I created in order to give extra support to people who need it. And then I'll do hot takes on participants' charts, as many as I can in the time. Okay. Okay, so just some of the basics about eclipses. A solar eclipse is an intensified new moon. We have at least two eclipses every year, 6 months apart, and they open a new story. So they signal new beginnings, fresh starts, and powerful resets. And they occur when at the new moon, the moon passes between the earth and the sun. And one of my teachers, Rebecca Gordon, talks about how the channel of the radio station changes and you can't go back to listen to what you were listening to before. So they're portals that pull us forward. They're karmic. And I like when we walk through a door, we turn around and there's a wall. And you can think about if you meet someone and you're single, ready to mingle, and you meet someone on a walk at the dog park, at the grocery store, and you just start talking and exchange numbers, even if you're not in a relationship for several weeks or months, it has changed your life because you're moving towards that relationship. You've walked through that door and then you're not technically single anymore. And the sun's light is temporarily blocked. And people have been studying these for thousands of years because, people would be standing out in the middle of the day and it appeared like the sun went out and people would get very scared, and different cultures would some start throwing things at the sun, trying to get it to come back. Yeah, so it's physically kind of destabilizing visually, and it's a huge energetic burst. So it's a time when people are really feeling emotionally agitated sometimes, even if it's wonderful, beautiful things coming into your life. And sometimes it's like if your chart isn't really activated, you may not notice it that much, but other people around you are likely going to be impacted. Now, a lunar eclipse occurs at the full moon when the earth is between the sun and the moon, and then the moon looks like blood red. And that's also psychologically a little unstabilizing for people. And lunar eclipses are more emotional and internal because the moon rules our emotions, and there can be culminations, revelations, and emotional releases. Full moons are illuminating where the sun and the moon are as far apart. And with a lunar eclipse, you may get full exposure about something related to Pisces energy, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And it may be yourself, where you have this big revelation about yourself, or it could be about someone else or a situation. So these are great times to just be present and watch what is unfolding. And note when it's unfolding in the nature of the two signs, because first we're going to have a lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 7th. And so notice what things are fully revealed. Pisces energy can be spiritual. It's about belief systems. These are just some key words associated with the signs. So Pisces energy can be very idealistic or introspective. All the water signs are mute. So you can think about it's a time, it's yin energy to go within. Compassionate, but we need to watch out for empathy overload because this energy can stir up our sensitivity. And it can also be a little indecisive, so people can get stuck about which way to go. Confusion can be abundant. Virgo energy, its I statement is I serve. Virgo is mutable earth, and we're going to have a solar eclipse in Virgo after the lunar eclipse. So what happens when you have the lunar eclipse before the solar eclipse, you'll have some kind of big reveal that will lead you to maybe take some kind of action at the solar eclipse. So some people may be realizing, ooh, I'm drinking too much. Maybe I need to quit, or maybe I need to cut down. So, because Pisces is associated with drugs and alcohol. And so they decide to go on a health plan, or the doctor says, you go to the doctor and they say to someone, if you don't stop drinking, your liver is going to quit. So then they have to make a decision and go forward. Or you realize one of your parents or yourself is getting confused and having maybe early onset of dementia or something like that. Could be something where then you got to go to the doctor and start taking action. So these are some of the things people are coming aware of and may already be aware of recently. So think about that. So Virgo's analytical, service oriented, but anxiety is one of the shadows, and anxiety is really percolating up in the collective. We're hearing about people crashing out is the new term that's coming up, where people the stress of modern life is just too much and they just lose it at times in public. It can be very picky, Virgo energy, wanting perfection. But this is the axis of well-being, health, physical health, and mental health are some things you can think about with these two signs. And these are just some themes about things that the signs rule. So as I said, Pisces is a mute water sign. It's mutable, so it's very changeable energy. It rules peace, spirituality, religion is associated with Pisces. It's very intuitive. People with strong Pisces energy is very porous, really need to have good energetic hygiene and knowing what's theirs and what's other people's, because it could just like absorb other people's emotions. And if someone else around you, if you're fine and then you move and then you're spending a lot of time with someone else who is angry or depressed or very anxious, it can impact your well-being as well. So there are a lot of tools, and I'm going to suggest a book to help you if that's something you experience. Pisces rules music. It's anything that takes us to another place. That is escapism is associated with Pisces. Music and film, these imaginative worlds. Now, on the shadows, it also rules deception. Also magic, pulling a rabbit out of a hat. So Neptune is a modern ruler of Pisces, and Neptune is the ultimate manifester. You have to believe it to make it come to life. Now, Pisces also rules people who are disadvantaged or experiencing hard circumstances, like homeless people and refugees. People in hospitals are Piscean places you'd rather not be, like jails. There's a sense Pisces rules slavery, Virgo indentured servitude. And I already mentioned drugs and alcohol. So these are some of the themes. And we've really seen these themes come up in the collective. Things about, the United States sending people to foreign jails, what's going on in Gaza, the Sudan. There's so much upheaval. We've had tons of storms where people have been displaced all over the world. So these are the themes we're seeing. And it calls for people being more charitable and helpful to others. How can we practice forgiveness if somebody's having a difficult time or they say something, and maybe try to have some compassion for people who are under a lot of stress at this time. Virgo themes are around our health, physical health. We can think about Virgo is the rank and file of people who work, especially in service and industries like the doctors and nurses and everyone at the hospital. These are Virgo type jobs. The army, the rank and file of the military, has associations with Virgo. We think about Aries as the military, but the people who are in service, like the National Guard in cities across America. These are Virgo type people. And Virgo measures. There's a sense of exactitude and precision with Virgo. So that's why I have this, thermometer, oh my God, I can't even remember what this thing is called, this ruler thing. Anyway, filing cabinets, Virgo energy organizes, brings order to chaos. It's associated with the maiden. And the Jeffrey Epstein victims are supposed to talk this week. So that's a Virgo theme. And the South Node is in Virgo. So there's a drain on these energies. There's a drain on health workers, especially in certain rural areas of the United States where people have to drive far to get health care. Farmers and people who work on farms are Virgo, of a Virgo nature. And because of immigration and stuff, there's a lack there. So you're noticing things being drained out for Virgo energy because of the South Node is there, and being amplified in Pisces, amplifying up. The North Node is an amplifier. Oh, unions are in focus, and pets, small pets are ruled by Virgo. So I know in Arizona, I believe it was, there's some canine distemper that wolves are getting sick. So just be aware, maybe talk to your vet if there's anything about they're recommending for anything in your area. You can just send them an email maybe, and if they're recommending a vaccination for your pet or something, there's something you might want to consider to protect them. The High Priestess is Virgo energy. Yeah, bees are associated with Virgo. So notice when you hear stories in the news, and you can think about it, if it's of the nature of Virgo and Pisces, it might catch your eye, and you can think about how it relates to those signs. And in terms of health, Pisces rules the feet, and Virgo has associations with the intestines. Okay. So the North Node, it looks like this horseshoe, and the South Node looks like this upside down horseshoe. And the nodes speak to collectively what we are experiencing over the time that they're transiting. So if they spend 18 months in a sign, and they travel backwards through the zodiac. So the North Node entered Pisces in January. It moved from Aries to Pisces. That was a very big change from the first sign to the last sign of the zodiac. And what was happening in the collective was the fires in LA. And then we saw planes coming with water dropping on the fires. And then people from other countries were coming in and helping Los Angeles put out these fires. And then a lot of people became homeless because of the fires temporarily. So astrology is very literal. And as signs change, we'll see events of the nature of the change. But as I said, it's the access of mental and physical well-being. And these themes are what is in focus until next July. And then they'll switch North Node into Aquarius, South Node in Leo. But beautiful with this Pisces energy that is so imaginative. This is a great time to get really creative. The magnum opus, making your dreams a reality, taking some practical steps towards them. The hardest thing that a lot of us are dealing with is having faith over fear, because 3 outer planets changed this year. Saturn, Neptune, and Aquarius, from yin signs into yang signs. It's very destabilizing. It's a lot of new energy. Like every time we think we've got this, now there's something else. It's just, there's a lot of change. We're on the precipice and in a time of big change. So how can we trust the process? Now, there's a lot of disinformation and things going around. It's hard to know what's true and what's not true. So the questioning everything. But health and disease are in focus. So the more we can take care of our physical bodies, the better. Being aware when we're mentally overwhelmed or confused, and understanding the difference between our fears and what's reality. Something I love to do if I'm like, am I just being paranoid? I like to pull an oracle or a tarot card as a second check to tell me. And if it's swords, it's in my head, likely, versus some of the different suits in the tarot. Yeah, so that can be helpful for you to realize. And I am just absolutely loving one of the decks I recommend is this Osho Zen Tarot. I'll put it in the email that goes out, because it is so helpful on a spiritual level to understand what is coming up within you at that moment. Yeah. There's going to be, with the tariffs and everything, within the last week, certain things can't be shipped between countries. So people are having to adjust unexpectedly to changes they didn't expect coming. The thing about Virgo is accused of being boring at times, but when something that you just expected was needed to keep life orderly is taken away, it can be very unsettling and destabilizing, especially if like you have a business where you have to send things. Or I had some people telling me they were expecting packages and like now it can't come. I was an influencer for a Australian oracle card company, and they would send me all these decks, and I got a message last week they can't send them anymore because the country decided that they wouldn't be shipping things to the United States because of the tariffs. There was this, it was called the de minimis tariff exemption, meaning things under $800 used to not have a tariff. Now they do, and that's very Virgo. The de minimis means the law doesn't trifle with such things. So there's just a lot of change that we weren't expecting that's coming in, and how can we stay grounded and flexible and mutable? Both of these signs are mutable as the changes come in, rather than trying to fight what is happening. So these are just some suggestions for grounding medicine. Community connection. Can you get closer to your local community or find communities online or something? But I really suggest knowing your neighbors or having some resources local to you. The world is getting a lot smaller as isolationism is being amplified in the collective. especially people here in the United States, knowing your local communities can be really important as we go through this time. And maybe even consider taking like a little leadership role. Do you and your neighbors have a like an email chain or some kind of Facebook group, or Discord is something that people have the ability to be connected to each other? Some communities may be figuring out, hey, what if there's a storm and our power's out? Maybe having different people responsible for having just a little stockpile of different things in case there's trouble. Like in Texas, they had those floods, and the government wasn't really helpful. So local people had to jump in and help each other. Meditation apps are great, like Calm and Headspace. I have this thing called Open, which is a nervous system reset app that has music, sound, and breath. I listen to it every morning while I'm walking my dog, and there's this message that comes through that's always in line with the energy. And it helps me release some tension and get centered before I start my day. Yeah. And like doing body scans, understanding when your energy is, you're feeling nervous energy. The planet Uranus, which is like a buzzing, and it's the planet of lightning strikes, and it just has like a buzzing energy. It's going retrograde on Friday. So people are, the nervous tension is rising. So what can you do to calm yourself internally? Getting out in nature is such a great thing. Creative outlets like journaling, art, music, and dance. People are probably tired of me talking about it, but I love this Gap ad with this girl group Cat's Eye, and it has all this great choreography, and there's some like videos online to teach you that. Exercise is such a great way to dispel extra energy. So maybe learn the choreography for this. I said we're going to do it next year at the UAC, the United Astrology Conference, on the dance floor. It is to the song Milkshake, which was a hit 20 years ago. Jupiter, which is amplifying, is in the sign of Cancer, which is nostalgia. And so these Gap ads are from bringing back something from the past that was beloved. And it's like they're cinematic, and this choreography is amazing. And I think it's the same choreographer who did Dochi's music video, excuse me, for her song Anxiety, which is so in line with the South Node in Virgo. The South Node is a drain, and a drain on feeling steady, and there's this real amplification of anxiety. So with the Virgo South Node, this is just a suggested book. Calming your anxious mind is so in line with the energy, how mindfulness and compassion can free you from anxiety, fear, and panic. So consider that. You can get it as a book on tape as well. It might be helpful. That's for the Virgo South Node. With the Pisces North Node, the Artist's Way, a spiritual path to higher creativity. This is a course that has been around forever, helping people be more creative. It's a wonderful resource. And Mars in Libra. Libra is the sign of relationship. Mars can bring up problems or issues, and your attachment style may be something that's coming up with Mars in the square with Jupiter, where people in love are having a little bit of conflict about together, how much they're going to be together. Yeah, passive aggressive stuff is maybe coming up in your relationship, or conflict in relationships. And with an amplification of Cancer energy, people are more emotionally driven, and it can get really emotionally feeling out of control, and thoughts getting really scattered. So this is a book that can help with you identifying your attachment style, and getting some insights into it. Are there any comments or questions I should address, Ashley?
Let me take a quick moment to double check.
Oh,
I was sending everyone their
wait, what
number
does it
for
say?
their hot
I
take
have,
reading.
wait, hold on. Oh, shoot. Uh, is there a problem? Okay. I already bought the live meetings. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't look like there's any specific questions, just comments about place where people's placements are.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting this notice about. Okay. Can you see my screen? My no.
Yes,
Yeah.
we see Virgo, South Node, yeah, the nodes,
Okay.
and then Jupiter and Cancer.
Great. Okay, so this is the chart of the lunar eclipse. It's at 15 degrees of Pisces. So you can look at your chart and see, do you have anything right around 15 degrees, especially a degree on either side, but even 5 degrees on either side, there may be a story that you're aware of that is coming through. And this is set to the US. And the sun is in the ninth house. So we're going to be having themes around long distance travel, higher education, perhaps this rulings, judicial rulings, and that sort of thing. And the moon is in the third house, which has to do with communication and transportation. Now, there's going to be a very personal story to the US because our rising sign is at 12 degrees, and this is at 14. So we already know the president is sick. So that's a big story here that impacts the people of the country. There's something called the Metonic cycle where every 19 years approximately there'll be an eclipse at the same degree. These cycles run around 75 to 96 years. And so the last time there was a lunar eclipse at 15 Pisces was September 7th, 2006. So think back to what was going on in your life then. Is there anything going on in your life now that has a similarity to it? Hmm. Yeah. There may be themes that resurface because the sun and the moon are activating the same planets in your chart, but the other planets may be in different places. So it won't be the same thing, but it may be similar. But sickness, health, water, and systems are in focus. So pay extra attention to food expiration dates and recalls. Last year, we had a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and it was that deli meat was contaminated, and some people got sick. I recently saw there were prepackaged salads that were recalled. Walmart recalled all this water because some people had gone blind with the contamination in the water. So very, very serious. So pay attention to recalls and expiration dates. In California, there's some eggs that have salmonella. And with all the people who have been fired from the government, like over 200,000 people, some of those workers worked at places like the FDA or were in charge of inspections. And so there are less inspections. So we have to be more vigilant. I already recommended talking to your vet. Pay attention to health news, not to get crazy or worried, but just to be aware. If you start seeing things rising in your area, you might want to consider taking action. And be really careful around water throughout September. And really, I think we need to be careful around water for the rest of the year. I just saw something about there's like feces and beach water on the East Coast, and Saturn, the planet that rules in ancient astrology or traditional astrology, things like excrement, it's Pluto in modern astrology, is moving from Aries back into Pisces tomorrow. So there's a big energetic shift. You may feel this internally. This morning I was making coffee and my coffee machine, I thought it died, but it blew a fuse. So if there are any water problems or anything leaking in your house or in your area, pay attention because it could be like flood energy. So I recommend don't like turn on your washing machine and leave the house or your dishwasher. Make sure you're home, especially the next couple of days, because something could, there could be a clog or something you don't realize and you come home to a mess. Yeah, with the moon in the third house, there could be some kind of outages or problems in communication. Las Vegas got hit by this last week with some kind of cyber attack, and their DMV is down, and other things were down. I don't know if it's fixed yet, but this is possible. So keep your devices charged. I wouldn't be leaving your house with 20% on your phone, because what if something happens and you can't charge your phone, and there's a temporary power outage or something like that. It's a good idea, have water with you, especially if you're in an area that's really hot, and just a little bit of food and supplies, just in case. Because eclipses are known for like something totally unexpected happening, and then you're like, oh no, what do I do now? So it's good to be aware of. Now, the sun and Mercury are diving into the south node. So there could be a spotlight where all of a sudden, people are at an airport with Uranus going retrograde and flights are canceled for some reason. So just be mindful with your traveling. I recommend, and I've been recommending this for over a year, anytime you book a trip, to have travel insurance in case there's, for some reason, you can't go, it gets canceled or something like that. And check on places before you, especially if you're traveling out of the country, you might want to check on if there's any concerns or going on, because a lot of places are having some destabilization. Like Australia, I'm sure it's not that big of a deal, but there's marches and protests, and like there was some violence going on. So you might want to just be aware of what's going on in other places. Now, I call this severance packages. So we're likely going to see leaders exiting the stage. You might find out on Monday the 8th that your CEO has been let go, or you've got a new boss, or things like that can come up. We know the President of the United States is sick. There could be other leaders around the world that unexpectedly there's some kind of change. Now, this is a big aspect. Mars in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So I already talked about this a little bit. You may notice some tension in your relationships or tension in partnerships. People are having a bit of a lack of civility with people who you normally wouldn't expect, maybe coming out of their mouths expletives. And I just caution people about any kind of road rage. I wouldn't even toot my horn at someone unless you really have to, because people can just have a crash out. We're seeing diplomatic breakdowns, but watch out for emotionally charged arguments with your partners, because things can go from 0 to 60. So maybe take a breath, and if you can lighten the mood, if you're getting into it about something. There's a lot of nostalgia for the good old days, so putting on old music and dancing to it, maybe watch some old movies, a book you love. These are ways to get back into things. Spend time with your parents or what have you. But definitely pay attention to the weather, especially heavy winds and rain. Libra is an air sign, and like this Mars, this aspect will be separating. So this is happening before the eclipse. And I mean, we may wake up to some news we're not expecting tomorrow, but the exact date of Mars square Libra, I mean, Mars square Jupiter, is on Thursday. So Mars transits can tend to come in a couple of days early. So there may be something. Yeah, kangaroo court was something I got. So Mars is in detriment in the sign of Libra. It doesn't like to be there. And Libra has associations with fairness and balance. So people may be finding that if they're in some kind of a lawsuit or something, they're feeling like they're not treated well. Cardi B is on the stand right now for some altercation she had with a security guard back in 2018. And I'm seeing things on Instagram about how the lawyer is asking her so many inappropriate questions. Like she wore different wigs to court, and he's asking her questions about her hair. Her hair has nothing to do with this trial. Yeah. And so that we're seeing that is kind of kangaroo court. Now there's an amplification with Cancer energy of tribalism. This is my family, my group, versus we're all a collective, unified people. So we're seeing a lot of tribalism and separation. And part of this, if you paid attention to the Gene Wars with Sydney Sweeney's ad and then the Gap ad, which has gone so viral, is an example of tribalism. The American Eagle ad versus the Gap ad is bringing back this like kind of energy of Benetton and this girl group Cat's Eye. They're people of all ethnicities in the group. Now, Venus is on a world point and it rules the 10th house and the 5th house and the 6th house, actually. So, the 5th house is a house of creativity, recreation, and things like that. So that's why I'm suggesting people learn this dance, because I think a lot of people are going to be doing the dance, especially if you go out to clubs or parties or things. So that's one of my suggestions. But there may be some big news about recreation. Leo also rules royalty or celebrity. There may be a celebrity breakup with this Mars in Libra square Jupiter in Cancer. So this is big. This is the first time Uranus in Gemini is stationing retrograde. So there can be revolts and rebellions. This is happening on Friday. And so just be mindful this whole week, just be mindful of where you are, especially if you're in crowded places. And, if you see someone who looks like they're having like their anger is getting out of control or their emotions, just be aware to keep yourself safe, of course, but there may be an opportunity for just like a smile or connecting with someone could be really helpful to someone if they're feeling very agitated. Gemini is an air sign. It has associations with our speech and our thinking processes. There's an astrologer I was reading, Susan Lin had written about, I think her name is Blue Lotus. She thinks once Trump is on the stage again, we may be having difficulty understanding what he's saying if he's had some kind of medical thing, because Mercury's moving into Virgo and and Mercury communicates, it's going to square Uranus and Gemini. So it may sound like he's talking mumbo jumbo or he's hard to understand. So just notice if we see something like that. Yeah, the blockbuster news reports. There's a reporter, and I saw this on News Nation, and it's called the oatmeal experiments. And this is something that was going on in the Cold War. And she's doing all this investigative journalism about how the government in St. Louis essentially like poisoned the people in these Cold War experiments. So we may be getting more and more blockbuster news about unexpected things that shatter our conceptions about why would the government be using its own people with this testing. Yeah. And there can be air problems. So just, be aware. COVID spiking in certain places and whatnot. You may decide you want to wear a mask or something.
Celeste, there was a question about the time frame for events to come in.
Yeah, so different astrologers have different thoughts about this, but I think you can start to see stories coming in, and this is what I've observed about 6 weeks before the first eclipse. So since August, you can think about one of the things of this lunar eclipse is Taylor Swift's engagement. That's part of her eclipse story. Pisces can be this romantic fairy tale kind of stuff. The president's health problems is like coming to a head at this eclipse. Yeah, so things you can see things ahead of time. Definitely since the new moon in Virgo, which started because the new moon seeds things, and that was August 22nd. So definitely since then, but I think in August you may have already seen your story coming in, and then it will last all the way through the lunation cycle for the next Virgo new moon. So for another month. So we've got like at least another 4 to 6 weeks where we're going to be experiencing these stories. But a lot of times things will happen on the day of, before before of the actual eclipse, or a couple of days before. But this one, there's two events. There's Uranus stationing retrograde, and then the lunar eclipse. So how this can show up is you get shocking news. Like it could be your parent. You're talking to them and they're not making sense. That could be Uranus and Gemini, or they seem confused or scrambled or anxious. And then it gives you the full revelation that, ooh, mom or dad maybe has early stage problems with, or is having a stroke or something like that. So these can be the kind of things that come up. So there's something surprising that leads to awareness, or you could have like just a memory that like unlocks something for you, where if you've been working on something, you get like this amazingly brilliant idea with Uranus is brilliance. And then it unlocks the thing you want to do next with a creative project or a new product or something like that. So if you get a great idea, I would say write it down right away, because Uranus energy can like come in and come out. And then you don't write it down, and 2 minutes later, you had the best idea of your life and you forgot to write it down. You may be, knocking yourself. So these are the kind of things you can expect. But retrogrades bring delays, conflicts, and potentially the collapse of anything expected. Like somebody could be expecting to go to drive a certain way, and the street is blocked. So they have to go around, and by the time they get there, they miss their reservation for dinner or something. That's the kind of thing that can happen with this energy. So give yourself extra time on Friday if you're going somewhere. And then we have the solar eclipse. And what's interesting this season is we have two Virgo eclipses. So we have one at 0 degrees, and then we're going to have one at 29 degrees. The first sign and the last sign. Alpha and Omega is what I keep talking about. Now, this eclipse, there was eclipses at this same degree in 1968, 1987, and 2006. So if you were alive through several of these, there may be something that has a similar story that's happening right now. Now, the Saros series, they're at different degrees, but they're part of a family. And Bernadette Brady has delineated all of these. So it's the nature of this eclipse season that there can be excessive worry about loved ones, health, paperwork, or communication. So health, any concerns, go to your doctor. Paperwork, if there's something you need to take care of, I would recommend not putting it off, because it could come an urgent crisis. 29 degrees is a degree of crisis and decay. I've renewed my passport. I sent it in, waiting for it to come back because some places, if a trip comes up unexpectedly, an opportunity, you need to have at least 6 months to travel to certain countries. I worked in one of the companies I worked at. There was this woman who was a manager who was supposed to be going to one of our sites in another country. She got to the airport and they said she couldn't go because her passport only had like 4 months left on it. So it was like a disaster for her. So I bet you it was an eclipse season or a Mercury or Uranus retrograde, but I don't remember the date. Yeah. And the South Node, which is here, is opposite Saturn. See how Saturn's at 28 degrees and the eclipse is at 29? So this is tough energy. And there may be a callback to what happened in March because we had a lunar eclipse in Virgo where the sun was conjunct Saturn. So something that happened 6 months ago, you may get a resolution or a completion. Maybe if someone had a health problem 6 months ago, they're finishing the treatment and then ready for a new start. That can be something that comes on. But the second and the eighth houses, this is related to the United States, are the access of resources and power dynamics, the money and resources for the country versus debt can be things that are coming up. The eighth house is also the house of death and war. There's a lot of concerns about the president's health, as well as there's conflict all over the world. Yeah. So there can be this sense of urgency because of the farm shortages. We're seeing prices rising at the grocery stores. So that's putting additional pressure. Saturn, pressure is a Saturn word, on people's ability to get Virgo, everyday resources and staples. Now, Venus doesn't like to be in the sign of Virgo, it's the sign of her fall. So you can think about with this, Venus moving from Leo to Virgo, love is an act of service. Now, the tariffs make people feel like their money is going, it's not a feeling, it's a fact. Like your money is not going as far as it used to be. Can be something that comes up. And with Mars at 29 degrees, so we have two planets at 29 degrees. If you feel like this urgent need to break up or do something, it's recommended that you not necessarily take action right at a lunar eclipse. You might, or solar eclipse, you might want to wait a few days because the actions you take may not be able to come back from. So you may feel like this urgent need to kiss your relationship goodbye because of this intense energy. But if you give it a few days, you may realize, maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. So just be cautious about making final decisions because you may feel this internal pull, like you must absolutely do something. The last degree holds all the energy of the sign, but that may not be the best thing. But pay attention to anything about diseases caused by flying things. With Mars can be associated with biting insects and things, and in the sign of Libra. So yeah, just be aware. And there can be, because a king comes is a health aspect. And last year we had stuff with around this time with a couple of different mosquito-borne viruses where different towns were taking action in order to combat them. Mm-hmm. And in the US, they're doing something where we're concerned about the screwworm. That's a problem in South America that can impact cattle. It's really horrible. And there was a person who got it. And the US is launching a program with all these sterile flies so that to help kind of combat this disease. So I call this last rites. So there could be prescription drugs that are banned or shortages. So you might want to see if you can order some drugs early if you have anything like the Kennedy in charge of Health and Human Services is very against SSRIs. So there may be a need for people to, and this is like medication used to treat depression and anxiety. I don't think he's going to ban them totally, but there may be some needs where people are going to have to start to wean themselves off of things. Some people can't get COVID vaccines anymore. So this is the solar eclipse, and it's a difficult energy with the sun opposite Saturn. There's something that's being blocked or ended. It could be also layoff notices for certain companies. Okay, now I'm going to get into the signs. Let's see, how am I doing on time? Oh my God, I talk so slow. Okay, I'm going to just move through these quickly, and you can take a picture or you'll get the recording and you can come back and take a picture later. But if you are an Aries sun or rising sign, especially the rising sign, you can think about that the lunar eclipse first will be in your 12th house of spirituality, surrender, self-undoing. And then the solar eclipse will be in the 6th house of daily routines and services. So consider a retreat, maybe have some downtime, get a full checkout. You may find yourself being nostalgic for family stuff, and you may find yourself like more susceptible to physical stuff. Like my boo is an Aries rising and is having trouble with allergies. For Taurus, the sun or rising, the axis is the collective and the spark. So the 5th house, the 11th house is the house of your social connections, your ideals, groups, and organizations. You may have some full exposure there or get elevated in a group. The 5th house, personal joy, romance, children, creativity. So there may be a new start there. So take some time to give yourself open space for creativity and pleasure and hobbies and with friends. If you're a Gemini's Uranus is in your 1st house. So you may be noticing you're feeling desires for freedom. That's a Uranus word, or getting great ideas, or feeling a little like buzzy energy around yourself. So just be very mindful this week. Consider using your breath or these meditation apps if you're feeling a little agitated to calm yourself down as Uranus goes retrograde. Now, the lunar eclipse is in your 10th house of career, and Saturn's there too. So there may be some kind of limitations or extra pressure or duties at work. So be aware that you may need to, if you have a partner or kids, ask them to take up more of the slack at home with the solar eclipse in your 1st house. You may be feeling a push to leave a legacy about something. For Cancer, and I'm a Cancer rising, this is the 9th house and the 3rd house. So you may be having some awakenings around your belief systems and your idea and you'd like higher wisdom. That you might want to think about getting a new oracle deck or pulling out a deck to connect with your intuition. You may want to deepen your study of spiritual practices, examine your belief systems, maybe plan trips. Luck may be on your side. With Jupiter in your 1st house, and I only put the other planets if they were angular, you may be finding you're getting some luck, or benefactors are helping you and bringing you opportunities. For Leo, this is the wealth access. So there is a lunar eclipse in your 8th house of debt and shared resources. Intimacy, maybe things coming up about with your partner. Some kind of like power struggles could be possible, or just awareness of how you interact. And the second house is your resources. So you might want to get a financial advisor to help you manage debt or taxes. There could be unexpected expenses. I have a client who unexpectedly one of their employees wants more money, so they have to figure out how they can deal with this request. Yeah, maybe if you're you in couples therapy can be really helpful. For Virgo, this is a really important time because you're having the lunar eclipse in the seventh house of your partnerships and your one-on-one relationships, and a new start in your first house of your physical body. And with the south node there can be things coming up to your conscious attention that deal with how you relate to other people in these one-on-one relationships. You may need to face some stuff. You may be having some stress or excitement at work, and definitely consider a health checkup. Now, you may decide to get a new look or a workout plan. For Libras, this is the 6th and the 12th house, so opposite Aries. So you may get some awareness about sixth house topics, which has to do with things that go wrong with your health. Employees are sixth house, small pets are sixth house, daily rituals are sixth house. If your coffee now costs 10 extra dollars, you may decide that you move to tea or something like that, because I think Brazil has really big tariffs, although it may have changed. The 12th house is where the solar eclipse, maybe decide to go to bed earlier, maybe decide to tame self-undoing. Tomorrow is a great day to quit bad habits. When Saturn goes back into Pisces, you can stop or tame self-undoing. Jupiter's in your 10th house. You may be having a lot to do at work and getting some kudos or bonuses or getting a mentor or something like that with Jupiter in your 10th house. For Scorpio, you have a lunar eclipse in your 5th house. This is a house of romance. Maybe you meet someone, you go out for a date, and it's this great date, or with Saturn there, maybe it's a little disappointing. You can see, but this or your child tells you something that you weren't aware of, and you get some full exposure of that. Great time to take some time to maybe one-on-one spend some time with each of your children, and they may want to say something to you that they maybe wouldn't have said. So think about that. But think about having some fun. These are the houses of good fortune. I like dance like no one's watching. Embrace hobbies. Let your inner child come out. Yeah, the solar eclipse in the 12th house, maybe you start with a new community or connection. For Sagittarius, this is a lunar eclipse in the 4th house, things that may be exposed to you about your home. If you have any issues with water in your home, if something is leaking, pay attention. If you run, every time I run this humidifier at night, and every time there's a big retrograde, it starts to leak. So just be mindful about things with water in them that you may be seeing some leaks, and take care of that. And there may be some new start at work. Now with the south node there may be a bit of a drain, whether it's just a lot of extra work and your boss is putting pressure on you, or extra hours. So just be aware that that could be coming up. Or maybe you're tired of your current job and you decide to change. Yeah. Doing some ancestral healing stuff could be helpful. For Capricorn, the 3rd house is where the lunar eclipse. Really take a look at your thought processes. Are you getting too pessimistic? I mean, it's difficult times. Can you find the joy in ordinary and mundane things? Can you find spiritual practices that help you? Your partner may be getting some benefits, or you're connecting more emotionally with your partner. Maybe you're talking about things, making them clear. This can be great to connect with your neighbors, and maybe you want to stay close to home and not go on long distance trips. If you have some trip, planned out of the country and something's going on chaotically, you might decide to cancel it. Or just become aware of some thought process, like you may change your thoughts about certain things. For Aquarius, this is the axis of wealth, power, and pleasure. So the second house, you may decide you want to put a budget in place. This is your resources or income. And maybe an unexpected expense could come up. So just be mindful that there could be something coming, and be realistic about how much you want to spend. You may consider taking, with the South Node in your 8th house, it may not be the best time to take on a lot of new debt. So just consider it carefully. And there may be some big things about recognizing your shadows, your self-esteem. You may have awakenings about your self-esteem and self-worth and what you value. And last but not least, Pisces, the North Node is and Saturn is going back into your 1st house. So you may become aware of something about yourself. A great time to get a health checkup. Anytime you have an eclipse in your 1st and 6th house or 6th house, that's a time to get some kind of checkup. Something specifically related to these eclipses, because they're in Virgo and Pisces. If you have any issues with diabetes or sugar, Judith Hill warns that this can be a time where you can have little spikes in blood sugar. So just be conscious and aware of that. Yeah, pay attention. You may be feeling a bit of emotional overwhelm. So take care of yourself and your boundaries. Your partner may be in focus. If you have any electrical issues, fix them right away with Uranus stationing retrograde in your 4th house of the home. You may get some awakenings about family. Like suddenly you're thinking about something from your childhood and you get some kind of understanding, and maybe it leads to forgiveness. So that's it. Is there any questions that came up, Ashley?
No, Anna had asked what was going on with Trump.
Oh, I think he's quite ill. I think something happened last week. Maybe he had an episode of something. He's in some kind of, they said he has Venus insufficiency, which he may be, several doctors think he's in some kind of heart failure situation. So we'll see. He's got the best medical care out there. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go over his chart. I'm going to be on Dabney Lawless's and Susan Lynn's YouTube shows this week. So I'll be yapping about that. And I just did a podcast with Radiant Astrology, so that'll be launching this week as well. So I'll be talking all about that. Okay, I have a transits class with Kepler College. It starts September 5th. This one sells out sometimes. So if you want to join in on it, it's just a 5-week class, but you really got to know how to delineate a natal chart. I'm part of the Cosmic Shift. I think I have 2 more spaces for this retreat, October 15th through 19th, and I'm talking about predictive astrology. Both of these are on my website, and if you have questions, you can ask me, but this is going to be phenomenal. We are going to have such a good time. Oh my God, we went there last year. Now, the proper care and feeding of your moon. This is a new course I've created where you're going to get some pre-recorded lessons. You're going to get something that's about the moon, then through each of the signs, the moon through the houses, as well as aspects. And then we're going to meet live twice for Q&A and interactive chart demonstrations. So if you want to join me for this, my intention with this, and I feel like I have to do it right now, is that I want to help people through eclipse season to stay more present. You're going to get this daily moon insights journal, which will help you track and be mindfully aware of as the moon changes signs, as well as in your natal chart, learning about your own moon. And so this is something I'm doing to hopefully help people recognize your emotional responses, your behaviors as we move through eclipse season, this time where there's a lot of intensity. And by the end of this course, you'll not only receive insights on your moon sign, you'll have tools to care for your emotional well-being, strengthen your intuition, and live more with clarity and flow. Nourish your moon and find your flow. Yes. And you'll get, as a bonus, 20% off a consultation or 10% off a coaching program. And so the doors are open now. We're having live sessions on September 14th and the 28th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you can't make it, you'll get the recording. It's one payment of $97 or two of $55. I'm trying to keep the price low so that it's affordable for people. And this is just where to find me. Yes, the Celestial Insights podcast gives you insight every week. I'm getting pretty good with my predictions. That I'm really syncing with these energies. Okay. So Ashley, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So I sent, or sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Did you send me some people?
No, I sent out numbers to everybody, and then I have a random number generator that's gonna select people for the hot
Okay.
takes.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Okay, I'll do as many as I can. Shelly, are you here, Shelly? Can you come up?
I am. Hi.
Hi, Shelly. I wanted to show Shelly's chart because she had an experience. Can you see your chart, Shelly?
I can, yes.
Yeah, last year where there was a lunar eclipse in Pisces at 25 Pisces. Let me pull that up. So just as an, why don't you tell people what happened so that they can.
Well, what happened is like in 2020, I bought my house and the retaining wall, I have a really large retaining wall in the back and it had a small crack in it. And over the years, it's gotten a little bit bigger. And at one point, I talked to insurance and other people to say it's getting bigger and bigger. And what happened on the night of, what was it, September 17th?
Mm-hmm.
2024, that I knew the eclipse was coming up. And in the middle of the night, it was dark because it was like 9:36 or 9:38, something like that. I heard this boom and I could feel it. And I was already asleep and I went outside. I knew what had happened. I knew the wall had fallen. And that was
Mm-hmm.
within like 5 minutes of the actual eclipse time. So it was definitely, I knew it was because of that, but it was definitely unnerving. And I don't know, I took a lot of symbolism from it, meaning that like it was a foundation, it was bricks, it was, myself kind of just falling apart.
Ah.
There was the concrete behind it and it had it was just kind of the facade had fallen.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to make sure my dogs didn't get out because, and when things were being repaired, there's a lot of stress related to that
Yeah.
and having to rebuild it over months and months. And
Okay. So
it was interesting that it happened at the exact time.
yes, eclipses
Yeah.
are this big pulse of energy. And so you can see the sun is shining on your Pluto in Virgo. So Virgo is Earth, and you can think about Pluto. I like to talk about how it burns things down to the studs so they can all be rebuilt, and it's like the planet of death and catastrophe, and like the wall just crumbled, and it crumbled suddenly and was Uranian. You see the south node of drain on your Uranus, and you see Neptune opposite Pluto. So there's this like almost like this liquefaction, Neptune and Pisces, of the wall. And you see,
And they said the insurance company said, well, it was just water moving. so they wouldn't cover the repair because it was just like we had a ton of rain, and I guess that it wasn't draining properly, and it had bulged
Oh
the
my God,
soil behind it.
they didn't give you money for the.
Nope, because an incident didn't happen, like a tree didn't fall on it.
Oh my gosh. So
But it was
that's
just
a reminder to, if you know there's a problem and you see it coming and an eclipse is coming, to maybe get on it.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's so literal. Now, this eclipse, there may be, is the wall totally rebuilt?
It is. I haven't painted it, and I'm still repairing the wall with all of the debris that was left once the people left.
Ah,
So it's still taking time and emotionally having to figure out how to build a yard.
wow. Yeah. Well, now you see you're in a lunar return. And have you felt, being a Virgo rising, have you felt things coming to the surface about yourself? I say the South Node kind of turns things inside out about how you deal with when you feel a lack of control, or are you
Yeah,
feel.
I live by myself, and so I'm definitely having to rely on myself to figure out how to get things working. And at that time, I was, casually dating somebody, but he didn't really show up. And it's opposite my seventh house of relationships, right? And so he
Yes.
didn't really show up for me the way I needed to. But then I have had an ex that showed up and helped me put my yard back together. So I feel like I had already built a really solid foundation with him in the past, and he was there to help me kind of put that back together. So that was interesting, understanding myself and then relationships with someone I already knew and could kind of had counted on before, and someone who was new that just didn't really show up to help me. So
Interesting.
that was very illuminating.
Okay. So Saturn is opposite your Venus at this point, and Mars in your.
Acts of service. Right?
Hmm. Yeah. So just notice what happens. I wonder if this Mars in your second house of income and resources, you're just putting out money potentially to finish fixing everything up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's been kind of scary this whole eclipse season for me.
mm,
And
yeah,
with my North Node in Pisces and all of that, I'm just kind of like hunkering down, just waiting and being aware and you
yeah,
know, trying to take care of myself for sure and until it all passes.
absolutely. Give yourself, if you can, extra time to rest and sleep and nutrition and all of that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
thanks for sharing how things show up literally.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ashley.
Okay, the first number is 35.
Who's
So if
that?
you got 35, please come off mute.
Okay. Maybe pick another one.
Okay.
Oh, what a great idea, Ashley. Look at Ashley out here innovating with Uranus and Gemini and sending
Yeah,
people numbers. I love it.
trying to be more organized with Virgo. Okay, the next number is 33.
Hello, that's me, Jane.
Hi, Jade. How are you today?
I'm great. I am loving this. Thank you so much for doing it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. What is your birth date?
October 12th, 1966, born at 8:38 a.m. Eastern Time.
Okay. Hold on a second. Eight. Oh, and Ashley, can you go to my website and put the link to the class in? I forgot to do that.
Yes,
AM,
I'll do
sorry.
that now.
It's
Okay.
AM.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Ashley. Sorry. Okay. And I'm sorry.
And
Where, Jane?
Glen Cove, New York.
Where's that in New York? Is it upstate?
No, Long Island.
Oh, okay. So October 12th, 1966, 8:38.
Yep.
Okay. Great. So, did you have a big story last year around September 17th? That eclipse really hit you with because it was at 25 degrees of Pisces on your moon on your fifth house.
So I think the last 2 years I've had a lot of disconnection from groups. That's
Ah,
been very emotional. So I can't quite remember last September, but I would not doubt that something big happened.
okay. Well, what's happening is you are in your second Saturn return. And Saturn is tomorrow's going back into Pisces. So really notice just emotionally what you're going through. If there are any things about the fifth house is self-expression. It also rules children, um, pleasure, risk taking. There may be like some wrapping up of a story. And this Thanksgiving, Saturn's going to station at 25 degrees right next to your Saturn to go direct again. So there just may be a story about, because it'll be opposite your moon, and you've lived with this your whole life, your moon opposite Saturn, where sometimes you can feel emotionally separated from maybe people or blocked or whatever, however this shows up for you. So there may be some kind of story that you can process throughout this eclipse season and maybe get a new start. You might find a new group when there's a solar eclipse in your 11th house or something like that. Let me just
Mhm.
put this.
Yeah, it's definitely been an emotional time in
Mhm.
August for sure. And a lot of relationships have dissolved. And yeah, there's just been a lot going on with relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. So many people are having. Wait, I pulled Shelley. Relationships changing and what?
Hmm. Not necessarily bad, but definitely I'm expressing my boundaries.
That's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Because I wonder if with Pisces on your fifth house, there's this energy to want to be so giving and helpful that sometimes people maybe take advantage of you or cross lines and things. Venus is
Mm.
right at the top of your chart. So if you have a career, there may be something that you get a little unexpected perk or something with an
Oh,
extra dose of Venus and Leo, or do you have a job?
yes. Yeah.
Ah,
And there are
huh.
big things happening in September.
Oh, well, Venus going through your 10th house, you might find that you have some blessing. Venus is the planet of blessings, or just even kudos or thank yous that can feel good.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, so just notice what's coming up. Uh,
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And just one quick question. Do you have any beginner astrology classes coming up?
well, this moon class is very beginner.
Oh,
So
okay.
I feel like working with your moon is one of the best ways to, as an interest into learning astrology, because the moon rules our subconscious, and understanding our the things that may feel a little hidden to us is a great entry into astrology. So it'll give you an opportunity to learn all the moon signs and get some get an introduction. And I think, especially since you've been feeling very emotional lately, you might enjoy it. So take a look at it and see if you want to join.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll send a link out with the recording as well for anyone who
Great.
wants to join the class.
I
Perfect. Thank you.
also just dropped it in the chat.
Thank you so
Um,
much, Ashley.
the next number is 54.
And while 54, one last thing about Jane. So the work you're doing now, you may get some benefits also next year. You're having what's called a Jupiter return
Mm.
next July or June or July, where Jupiter in the sky will come into Leo in the ninth house. So I don't know, there could be travel opportunities, learning opportunities. You may be more center stage at work next year. So as
Oh,
you're building to that.
that's excellent. I'm going to mark my calendar.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who was
Well,
that?
I'm number 54.
Oh, so am I.
Oh,
We've got two. Okay, well,
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. We'll do both of you guys.
yeah, we'll do both. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
okay, I'll go. Name is Mary. I was born at 7:22 p.m. on September 24th, 1969 in Midland, Michigan.
Okay.
And today is my 29th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. This is fun energy for a wedding anniversary with the moon in Sagittarius. It could be a little adventurous and fun. Okay, so you have a moon in Pisces, conjunct the North Node. Do you do anything with meditation groups or?
I do meditate, yeah. And I
Uh,
do Qigong.
That's wonderful. Yeah, so the 12th house, the house of solitude, or that's really wonderful. And the North Node can be about groups. So you doing spiritual practices and alignment with other people can be really helpful for growth. Ah, great. And how are you feeling with Mars has been going through Libra? Have you had a lot of extra energy or drive for like getting ordered or doing stuff,
I
cluttering or?
I need to do some order and decluttering, and that's been on my list, but I have not been prioritizing. But I know I need to.
Yeah, the sixth house. Mars is
Yeah.
going through your sixth house, so it might be a good time to do all of that stuff.
Yeah. I've been working on my ideal day lately. So yeah, that sort of routine.
Uh, and you're in a nodal return. So the North Node in the sky has returned to Pisces, which you have natally, in the South Node in Virgo. So just be mindful of what's coming to your conscious attention. And especially if you get a little anxious, you may be feeling it a little more intensely with this around the eclipse season. So it's just good to be aware. Chiron's on your ascendant. So have you had any health issues recently or no? That everything's fine. Just be extra mindful
Yeah.
about getting sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially around the eclipses. So that says August. Oh, that's today. Let me put, what did it do? Wanted to do September 7th.
September 24th.
Yes. So, well, September 7th. Yeah, I've got your birth date.
Oh, I see.
This is
You're
your
doing
natal
the
chart
eclipse.
inside,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
this is the planets outside. So it's your sixth and 12th houses. So definitely,
Yeah.
Be mindful of your health with Chiron on your ascendant. Chiron's the wounded healer, which can be indicative of there's just something that can be going on. And in the sky, Saturn and Neptune have been squaring your Mars. So if your energy is feeling a little drained, give yourself extra rest or times for some downtime can be something that you're needing. Yeah. And any creative projects you want to do, this can be a lot of positive energy for creativity. And do you have any children having babies right now?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I have children, but they're not having any babies.
Okay, because this looks like expansion of family a little bit with children. So maybe somebody will get
Okay.
engaged.
Maybe.
Well, great. Well, I hope that's helpful. I think just your
Yeah,
routines and your rituals and bringing anything you could do to calm and center yourself
then,
and
yeah.
celebrate your anniversary.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Who is
Hello.
he? Hi.
March 7th, 1971. Oh, Samantha, sorry.
No worries.
March
Mark.
1971, 12:03 p.m. New York City, New York.
Ah, I'm from New Jersey, so
Well, I was born and raised in Jersey, but born in New York, but raised in Jersey. So
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm from Morristown.
Tina.
North. Oh, wonderful. There are so many New Jersey people I meet all the time. Okay. So do I have this right? March 7th, 71, 12:03 p.m.?
Yep.
Ah, so you're a Cancer rising and Jupiter is going through your first house. Have you felt like more centered or calm or benefits coming in unexpectedly or getting more attention or anything since June?
Yeah, definitely more centered and calm.
Okay, good, good, good. And so you're being there's eclipse across your midheaven career and I see family. So do you have a career? Are you working?
Oh, yeah.
Is there have you like been working on group projects or getting any kudos or things like that?
Not group projects, but I mean, my patients love me.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully this is a time where you're feeling very appreciated.
Yeah.
Um, and now Saturn's going to oppose your Pluto. So at home, for you, I would make sure to take care of any kind of water issues or like the foundational issues that Shelley had. If there's anything going on, just be aware that it could come to a head when Saturn opposes your Pluto at home. Yeah. And if your parents like are older, maybe just check on them and make sure everything's okay with them. Might be something you want to.
They're past, so.
Oh, okay. You might be feeling nostalgic or feeling like some stuff around your childhood, especially around within the next week with this eclipse across
Mhm.
your. But this is an important one for you because your sun is being eclipsed. So, you could get like unexpectedly someone does a great review of you on whatever platform they do reviews on, you know, with Jupiter in your first house. And it's just like you get some nice kudos as possible. Ah. And I would just stay present, see how things unfold. And you might, with the solar eclipse in your fourth house, do some organization or cleanup. And with Pluto here, you may be wanting to purge things from your home. That could be something that comes up with this energy. Because the solar eclipse is on your Pluto in your fourth house of home, and it's in this sextile to your moon, which also has associations with home. So you might want to be giving stuff off to charity or something like that.
Sounds great.
And it squares your Mars. So yeah, just be mindful of your energy and getting too exhausted or overworked would be what I would say.
I tend to do that, so good note. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Why don't we?
Next is number, sorry, go ahead, Celeste.
Oh no, go ahead, Ashley.
Next is number 1.
That's me. Hey, Celeste, how you doing?
I'm good.
So you might have me in there. We've talked before, but it's Alec.
Oh, hi, Alec. How are you?
Doing good.
Wonderful. Yes, I definitely have you in here.
Yeah, McPherson.
Okay. You pulled number 1, you lucky person with
I guess
Uranus.
so.
on your midheaven.
Yeah.
So I want you to really pay attention when Uranus goes retrograde because you may feel that. Just notice
Okay.
your thoughts. Can you try to be grounded? If you're feeling, you may just feel a little scattered or get great ideas. You may get like some really cool idea for your business or something like that.
Cool.
Ah.
Yeah, I was a little concerned when you went through all the different signs because like both Leo, I'm a Leo with Aquarius rising, and it was like both were like watch your finances, be wary of like, you know, upcoming expenses. So it was kind of a little scary.
Well, it's to be prepared. So
Okay.
like this could be Uranus going retrograde. Oh, I've got to have this thing. I've got to buy it. I've got to buy it. And then
Right.
it's like, oh, I shouldn't have bought that. Like there can be this feeling of needing to do something right away especially with that solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo. And in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship, if like just be mindful if you're dating anyone to if like something feels like this sense of urgency, like I have to make this seal the deal or move things forward, to try to take a breath and
Okay.
to just keep that in mind because the sun is on your moon. So you may really be, it's spotlighting your emotions potentially, as well as any seventh house people, especially like date people you're dating or um, like one-on-one partnerships, a best friend or something like that. But with
Okay.
Venus right here, there could be romance could be in the air.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Yes, yes, yes. So hopefully you have a really, this is just, I feel like it's a great time for you to understand yourself and how you relate to other people in one-on-one relationships, especially like dating relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Could be just some learnings, and you can use Oracle or tarot cards for things like the South Node can be bring things up to your conscious attention.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And just be aware you may feel little emotional surges with the eclipses.
Cool. And when do you said Uranus is going retrograde? When does that start?
That's Friday. So
Okay.
5 days before and after are most intense when a planet changes directions. Like what happens is the energy intensifies. And
Okay.
so it just, and Uranus has like this like buzzing energy. So
Yeah.
you may find it hard, and it's in your third house of the mind. If you're having trouble sleeping, or like I've been staying up too late, like I feel it coming already. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing up at 1 a.m.? I need to
Right.
go to sleep. And the other night, I like hopped out of bed and just had to write something down. It was ridiculous. So, as much as you can, just be aware that that energy is there, and because you have your North Node here, it may be even a little more amplified within you.
Okay.
So, do what you can. Get out in nature, breathing exercises, that sort of thing, to just kind of calm yourself down,
All right. Cool.
finding peace within.
Very cool.
Great. Well, good to hear your voice.
Yeah, you good to talk.
Sounds good.
Next is number 3.
Oh, is that me? I think.
Oh, is that Anna?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just in my PJs, so I have my camera off.
Oh, no worries. Um, let's see.
Didn't expect to be lucky.
Ah, let's see if we can see it. And you're starting your Uranus opposition, Anna.
Scary.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Well, things coming to your conscious awareness, and it's in the houses of finances and talents and things like that.
Interesting.
And intimacy. So, wait, let me do. lunar eclipse. Let's see how we're. Okay, let's see. Well, Jupiter in your ninth house. Are you studying anything new or broadcasting or going on
Well,
trips?
I recently actually did a workshop with Malika,
Oh, okay, great.
and trying to publish that book.
Oh, that's right. Your book. Oh, perfect. That's right.
Yeah. So
Ah,
the first proposal got rejected from the first publishers, but I'm just skipping at it. I'm gonna try another one.
absolutely. J.K. Rowling, she got rejected, I think, like 15 times or something like that. Stephen King kept getting rejected. So keep at it. I love that. And Venus, well, that's why you're lucky. You got a blessing. Venus in the 10th house in a public place today. And
Beautiful.
oh, the fifth house. So stay open for maybe a romance could be in the air or creativity, or this could just be great for your writing.
Yeah.
You might get some like the language you use may be more connecting emotionally to the reader as you move through
Mm.
this eclipse or just in general. And maybe some new groups or anything, or friendships may come up, or deciding it's time to move on from any of those things, or some new start could be coming up through this eclipse season.
Well, when you mentioned the community, I did apply for that community job.
Oh, great.
But I haven't heard about it yet, but I was like, "Oh, I wonder if this could be a really nice eclipse story."
Oh, that would be wonderful if you got a
Right?
community job. Yes, a new start there. And oh, it squares your Neptune, the solar eclipse. Sun square Neptune. Well, good luck. I hope you
Thank
get
you.
it if you want. Yeah, maybe follow up with them with Mars and Libra. Because with Venus in your 10th house, that could be a blessing coming in.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, good luck, Anna.
Thank you.
The next one is 72.
Hi, that would be me. It's Avon. It's my first time here, so thanks for this, Celeste.
Oh, you're very welcome. How do you spell your first name?
Avon, so Ayven.
Wonderful.
And I was born on 28th December 2002,
And what?
in Kathmandu, Nepal, so Kathmandu. And the time opposite would be 5:45 plus UTC, I think. Yeah.
Is that AM?
And my birth time would be 8:45 a.m.
Oh, 8:45. Sorry.
Yeah.
At AM?
Yeah.
December 28th, 2002. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you're an Aquarius rising. So Pluto has been on your ascendant for a while.
Yeah.
So really, there's a sense of letting go of anything that's not in alignment with your life at this time. Have you really felt that energy?
Yes, I definitely have. I feel like the past 3 years have been, especially because I'm also like a Capricorn sun. So
Mm-hmm.
I had Pluto like on my sun before this as well. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, like I've lived with Pluto for most of my life since 2008.
Oh yeah.
Um, but the past few years have been, yeah, like a lot of changes. I moved from my home country, so I'm here in Australia now.
Okay.
Um, but also like my identity, like I've changed my name as well already.
Ah. Oh, well that's why am I putting me outside? You're sorry, I put the wrong one. Let's see. Do you have any Gemini in your chart? Let me see. Ah. Oh, your North Node in Gemini and Saturn in Gemini. So people when people say they changed their name, there's often a Gemini influence in that. Was it for like your creative expression reasons?
It definitely was. I always felt like I wanted to change my name. I never knew as to what, but I just like stumbled upon this name and I was like, okay, like this sounds like something that I could go with for like my I was like thinking of my legacy, also like how I would want to express myself creatively. Um,
Mm.
and it felt like the right balance. And it's also like it's got a Sanskrit meaning as well. Although I'm not religious, I still like like to pay carry on the legacy of my ancestral lineage. So like I found like a sweet spot for it.
Oh, beautiful. Well, the thing that jumps out to me is Mars is on your moon, so in the ninth house. So just be mindful about your emotional reactions through this eclipse season. Maybe this will just be you feel very motivated to be creative. Do you do anything artistic with your work?
Yes, I write often, but I haven't really found what I like what my like artistic expression would be.
Mm.
I do write often. I paint sometimes. Listen to a lot of music. I basically like listen like live um through like my music playlist every day.
Yeah, you may find that you're suddenly wanting to do something artistic with Mars and Libra, which is associated with art on the moon. Just be mindful of your emotional reactions because with Uranus going retrograde, like that buzzing energy can, especially about spending money unexpectedly. I would just be mindful about
Yeah.
avoiding impulsive things because Mars can amp up our impulse, and Venus in Leo on Jupiter can be like, oh, I want that luxury thing for I'm going to buy that for my partner or whatever, or somebody I'm dating. Or maybe this is just romantic excursions or something like that could be coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the sun going through your eighth house of deep psychological processes. So it's a great time for journaling and
Mhm.
examining your shadows, especially since Pluto is on your ascendant. There may be themes and things coming up where you get this understanding about yourself and things become clear about, oh, why did I do that years ago? Yeah, you can really get in touch with your Libra moon about how you maybe at times put other people first in relationship, and this could give you some stronger, better boundaries going forward if that's an issue.
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like I don't really like to admit it often, but I really like put other people's opinions first before mine.
Well, with a Capricorn sun, there can be, and your sun is almost to in your 12th house of what's hidden or self-undoing, and the sun Chiron can be like, for whatever reason in your childhood, your esteem, well, you got this message from your family about maybe keeping up with the Joneses or being this like comparison thing with other people that had you focused in on other people as judging yourself. And it's just something to be aware of and work with over time. So yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But this Mars and Venus and Scorpio at the top of your chart, that's
Yeah, I've
interesting.
always wondered like what it means to have like my Mars and Venus in the same sign because I feel like I carry a lot of Scorpio energy. Even my friends say that
Mhm.
when they first perceive me. But then when they get to know me, like they know that I'm a bit goofy at the end
Yeah.
of the day because I'm an Aquarius rising.
Yeah. Well, you've got a really strong Mars that can be really driven and go straight forward. But Venus in Scorpio, that could be speak to as well as how I wonder if you stop yourself at times from taking action because of that concern about how other people would see you with the Aquarius rising, fears of being perceived as different or an outsider kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because your Mars is in domicile and your Venus is in detriment. So there's like this internal tug of war. So maybe learning how to work with them together, honor that you are intense in certain ways and need intensity in your life. And you can maybe get really, really passionate about things that, and
Yes, quite obsessive.
obsessive and fixed on things. Yeah, fixated on things. It's just, yeah, good to be aware of. Can be really helpful for you in your career. Like, as you're articulating things to people and they can really feel when you're really passionate about something, you can,
Yeah.
that can be someone who's really good at selling things with the Mars and Venus in the same
Hmm.
sign, or getting people inspired and motivated.
Yeah. Thank you
Uh,
so much. That was really insightful.
oh, my pleasure. Okay, Ashley, let's do one or two more and then we should call it a day.
Okay, next is 27.
Hello, Celeste. It's Grace.
Hi, Grace. Is this Grace
Hi.
who was on your podcast? Or,
This is Grace from your transits class.
oh, hi, Grace. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, it's nice to
Um,
hear you.
I wanted to do my is it okay if I just give you a random one?
As long as the
Uh,
person is okay with it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
one second. It's gonna be August 10th, 1989, and it's Brookfield, Missouri.
Do you
And the time was 1:16 a.m.
one oh okay. Oh, Brookfield. And is this how are they related to you?
That's my husband.
Oh, okay. Is that right? August 10th, 1989, 8:45 a.m.
It's 1:16 a.m.
Okay, sorry. Well, this is an important time for people born in 1989 or the late 80s because they have a really tight Saturn Neptune conjunction natally, and they're moving together in the sky. So they don't meet exactly until February 20th of next year, but there's likely going to be a story in his life that's related to, it could be groups, or in the 11th house is also, it'll be meeting in the 11th house and in a square with the 8th house.
Hmm.
So that's going to be like a Saturn square and a Neptune square at the same time. He might be feeling like he wants to dissolve things and take a different path, or they could be
Yeah.
career related.
Hmm.
Yeah. And lots
Yeah,
of,
we thought that it was gonna happen. He got a random request to have an interview for a job, but then he ended up not getting it just recently because he has
mm,
a progress new moon that's gonna be on the eclipse, basically.
let's see.
Like, yeah.
Okay. So he's about to be in a full moon, a progressed full moon, right?
Full moon, yeah. I don't know what I said, but yes, full moon.
Ah, so moon opposite Venus. Oh, that's interesting. So in 2 months, his progressed moon is coming to his progressed midheaven. So yeah,
Hmm.
there could be some opportunities definitely with a job. Mm. And
Yeah, kind of there's been something like
his boss has been thinking about leaving for a long time, and if his boss leaves, he gets his boss's job. But it's been this sort of in and out thing. Like we're like, come on, get out of here.
Well, Jupiter is stationing at 25 degrees of Cancer, right on his third house, and trine his moon, which rules his income, November 11th. So maybe as you get closer to that, there could be some opportunities that come in for him.
Interesting.
That could be quite possible. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it feels like it's kind of starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. Yeah, it's strange.
that's been a lot of the energy of this year. Like the
Hmm.
beginning of the year through April with all the retrogrades, it was extremely, chaotic. Just think about like the tariffs. They're on, they're
Hmm.
off, they're on, they're off, they're this, they're that. I mean, that's this like there's just a herky jerkiness to the energy. So as much as he can stay calm, cool, and collected, he's going to have an eclipse on his progressed Mars, the solar eclipse at 29 will be within 2 degrees of his Mars. So just watch out for expression, self expression, excited utterances, because they can be a little bit of a self undoing thing. So, as much as he can, especially because this Uranus stationing retrograde this week, it's a quincunx to his natal Uranus. So, maybe just remind him about that buzzing energy and just be mindful of it. And if he can get enough sleep, he might find he's tossing and turning a little bit.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
but this could be, any day he could be finding out something positive related to work or work life with Jupiter trining his moon. And
Yeah.
it's like a grand trine with his
Hmm.
progressed planets.
Yes, it does. It feels like a big shift, but again, the start and stop has kind of been like, well, whatever at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's it's in the energy.
Thank you.
Keep hope alive.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Um, next is 64. And then I just want to clarify because there was a question about the charts that you had up for Grace's husband.
Uh-huh.
And you had up his progressed chart,
Oh yeah.
right?
So progressions. So we have our natal chart, and that's the chart when we were born. Progressions speak to they like progress us out to any age, any date in our life, and speak to emotionally what we're going through, and emotions can lead to action. And it's one of the best timing techniques there is, and they're very unique to ourselves because our progress charts are ourselves. And then the outer ring is transits. And the transits are where the planets are right now, and we're all under the same transits, but they impact us differently depending on our personal charts. So that's what progressions are. Yeah. And
Celeste,
great. Uh-huh.
I think the question was about the dates because the date of the eclipse is September 7th.
Oh, okay. Progressions don't move very fast, so it wouldn't really change in a
Yeah.
week. Like the moon moves a degree a month. So it'll be at 20 for the next month. Yeah, so I didn't progress it. But you can see, I didn't notice this, but his progressed Venus is at 3 degrees. So Pluto is squaring his progressed Venus. So he's really like ready to feeling this pressure of wanting to have this perhaps increase in money, Venus in Scorpio, increase in power, really desiring this in his work life. He has an Aquarius midheaven, and the being patient may be kind of difficult, but yeah, it could very well be coming. And he's in his Pluto square, not for many years when Pluto will be square as natal Pluto, but he may be starting to feel that internal tension about wanting to expand his influence and his power and feeling it mentally. The ninth house is the house of the mind, but Aquarius ruling his 10th house, it's about his career and his legacy and wanting to make his mark kind of energy and getting a little frustrated. So, yeah. Did that answer the question?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And so the last one that we'll do today is 64.
Who is 64? Are you still here?
I think that's me. It's Tracy. I think so.
Okay.
I think.
Well,
Wait.
no
No,
one.
it's not. I'm sorry. I'm 63. I don't want to take it from 64.
Well, is 64 here? If not, we'll do you, Tracy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, they're not answering. So, what's your birthday?
September 24th, 1973, 11:43 p.m., Baltimore, Maryland.
Great. So this is an important eclipse for you because it is, even though you're a Libra, 29 degrees is like 2 degrees from your sun. Mm.
Yeah.
So you may be feeling it related to family stuff. Is something big going on at your job? Are you?
Work is, I mean, I mentor for Deborah Silverman, so we just got all of our rosters. That's about ready to pick up. It's really big, but home, yeah, we just moved my mom in, built a kind of mother-in-law suite thing for her. So that is a huge, huge difference in my life, taking her to doctor's appointments and things like that. So it's been an adjustment, right? To care for an older parent.
Absolutely. And that really speaks to the sun going, the eclipse in your fourth house of family
Yeah.
and the south node being here. So there's a drain on your, or selflessness is needed. That can be when we see the south node activated. Selflessness is needed in order for you to care for your mother. And it's going to bring up all these things about like how she was when you were younger. Seeing your parents lose their energy, lose their vitality can be very emotionally unsettling. And yeah, it'll
Yeah.
maybe you're noticing a lot of stuff about your
Yeah.
your early life, and your Virgo moon is in full focus. So have compassion with yourself is what I'm getting for this. When you get frustrated with her is what, or yourself.
It's so needed. It's compassion for me and for her, because she
Mhm.
doesn't want to be going through this either, and it's just kind of part of life. And so trying to remember that. It's so true, Celeste. You nailed that.
Yeah, that's yeah, well, take good care of yourself. That's a little tough, and especially with Mars in your fifth house. Uh, just be mindful of your self-expression. Uh, I like this Venus and Mars in sextile. Mm.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Ah, mm. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to be teaching soon. This is like you're using your voice.
Yeah.
You're getting your opportunity to Leo shine in the fall term. Yeah.
Brings me lots of joy, as I know that you can relate, right? It just kind of lights up my soul. So even with going through all the things personally in the family, this is what, what's that saying? Like if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, something like that. I'm sure I'm not saying it exactly
Absolutely.
right, but that's how I feel, right? When we get into that seat. So when we
Mhm.
get to teach. So that's my kind of very good Pisces word, escape, but in a healthy way.
Yes, yes. You're coming to next year. It won't be till next year, but Saturn's going to be squaring your node. So
Oh,
that
I know.
speaks a lot about your Saturn in Aries. You may feel limited in your independence because you're taking care of family and your partner, your husband, or
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot. There's a lot with that. And hopefully you can have some time to, do stuff with groups or fun or your own career that lights you up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Already planning lots of cool stuff for next year. NORAC, UAC, whatever, all of them.
Hey,
Hoping to
absolutely.
see you present at some of those.
Yes, I'll be presenting at UAC for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Celeste.
You're welcome. Well, this has been just wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope to. Oh, good, Caldwell. I'm glad to see you there. It's nice to see everyone. And consider the moon course if you are so interested. Yes, Chrysula, the north true node is your north node. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if there are any other. Did I miss anything? Oh, Susan fractured your foot. Oh no. Okay. What was Deb's question? Deb, what was your question about your? I see something here that you were asking. I fell weirdly. Yeah, watch out with Uranus walking. You can there's Uranus is trip and fall energy. Yeah, Brielle, Mars in Libra and okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, everyone, what happens when men have Mars in detriment and Venus and domicile in their relationships? Yeah, that can be interesting. It depends what house it is and how aware they are. But so, okay, so Venus is the stronger planet, Mars is in detriment. That would be a great mediator, someone who fights for justice, but they would have to be mindful of getting angry about putting their partner first all the time, and resentful is what comes to me with that question. So awareness would be the key with them. Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah. Okay. So, Ari, you're taking a flight on Saturday. So just be aware there may be some like delays or restrictions. Like there could be weather things coming up where it's windy. I would, if you're flying this weekend, I would stay in your seat with your seatbelt buckled as much as you can, because not getting up just to stretch your legs and all that kind of stuff unless you absolutely have to, because there can be unexpected turbulence. That's what Uranus and Gemini can bring. Everything seems to be going smoothly, and then there's some turbulence. It happened this week where people actually got injured because a plane had this chaotic turbulence. So that's what I would think about for your trip on Saturday. And you can look at your chart and get yourself all up in a commotion, and the chances that your plane is you're gonna be jumping out of it down the slide are pretty slim. So I would just try to find the centering within with that. I have to get on a plane on Wednesday. I'm not thrilled about it, but yeah, it is what it is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And keep hope alive. You never know. You could get a very romantic something. And Taylor Swift has been through it with her relationships. So it's nice to see her. We've heard all about it. So hopefully this will work out well for her. Oh, thank you, Katie. I'm glad you love my podcast. It's Celestial Insights Podcast, available wherever you listen. Okay. Okay, great. take good care, everyone. If you have any questions about the moon course, reach out to me. I'll send this recording today. But I hope to see you again, and take good care. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Ashley,
Celeste,
for all your help.
no worries. There's just a couple things at the bottom that people just added.
Okay.
Whit Harris wanted you to know that you did a reading for them in the past and it didn't resonate because their birth time was incorrect.
Oh,
So
do
if
you
you
have
remember that one.
Ah,
And then Chrisula is asking if you still do solar return readings. She couldn't find where to book for that on your website.
well, you would just book the hour-long reading and then put in there in the notes that you want me to focus on your solar return. Yeah, well, Whit, if I had your wrong birth time, that would be a problem. So maybe consider coming to another one. Oh, hi, Donna. Oh, you're very welcome. Ah, okay. Does it matter that the Aries rising has a 12th and 6th house? And I believe I'm not sure I understand your question, Mary. Because if
Well,
someone,
when you were going through all the slides, I think you were showing the houses that were highlighted for, I think, the eclipse and maybe the new moon or something.
Hmm?
But on each zodiac slide, you highlighted two houses
Yes.
in your
And
presentation. So my Aries rising had the 6th and 12th. And then my Libra sun had the 6th and 12th, but it was the opposite.
oh,
Whether it was the lunar moon or the eclipse. I'm not sure which symbol was which. Probably
okay.
the black circle was the eclipse, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. So you're an Aries rising.
And a Libra sun.
Oh, a Libra sun. Okay. So your 6th and 12th houses are going to be very, very active because that's Pisces Virgo. So just all that you can do to be aware of any rising anxiety, like your sleep hygiene can be really important for you. And the more you can turn your routines into rituals, like if you have a dog and you're walking your dog and you're normally just like, I'm walking the dog and da 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 da. Can you turn it into like a little magical experience with Pisces energy at the lunar eclipse where, you see a butterfly or a mockingbird or something and you like you're really being aware of moving through the things that may be your tasks and bring in something magical or spiritual or philosophical into it might be
Okay.
helpful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. So stay grounded and look for the magic.
Yes. And consider like oracle cards, like pulling a card every day would be something that might bring, and that could be what you contemplate while you're doing these things. What does this mean? How is this showing up in my life? How do I relate to this? What it's saying can really, really stimulate because the 12th house has like a solitude retreat kind of energy. And like retreating into yourself can be really bring up a lot of like you can learn a lot of things about yourself and yeah, turn each day into a little mini adventure.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, when that happens, that's why I tell people get your birth certificate. I have had that happen more than once or heard about it happening. So Whit got his birth time from his father, and his father reversed the AM PM. Absolutely, that happens. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why I say get your birth certificate or your baby book, because parents' memories, 20, 30, 40 years later can be rusty, especially if they have a bunch of kids. But sometimes even people with one kid, they can't remember when they were born. So, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Did I miss anything, Ashley?
No, that was everything. Thanks, Celeste.
Okay, great. Take good care. Yeah, if you have both Mars and Venus in detriment, how to, you have to learn like how to, relationships are learning. They take extra effort. Like someone with them in domicile, they just may naturally Venus, naturally Mars. So naturally Venus connect. Naturally Mars, like, oh, I think that person's cute and sexy. Let me go talk to them. Da, 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 da. Whereas if they're in detriment, there may be like some learning, some awkwardness in that part when you're younger, but you get used to it by the time you're an adult, hopefully. Yeah. And some of the people that are most successful have planets in detriment or squares or oppositions because it takes energy to it's just not a natural, easy expression. Yeah. Okie dokie. Well, take good care, everyone. Have a beautiful day.